Well, hello again, all my vintage dirt bike loving YouTubers, and thanks to you all for giving up more of your valuable time to return to classic dirt bike TV, and also thanks once again for all the many positive, mainly positive comments that you're leaving with regards my video content. It's good to know that most of you are enjoying my video postings. Okay, coming up in this next video, we're going to take a look at Kenny Harper's quite nice CZ machine. Now, this is not a fully original bike from back in the day, as many of these old CZs aren't these days, but nevertheless still worthy of a few minutes here on my video channel. So I do hope you enjoy this, and without any further delay, let's just jump straight into the video. Okay, this quite nice looking Czechoslovakian CZ belongs to Scottish rider Kenny Harper, and these few pictures and video clips were taken when Kenny was about to try out his brand new bike for the first time at a classic scramble at Forfar in the north of Scotland in 2019. Now, naturally, and again, this is not an original bike, but is still loosely based on a 1963 CZ 360 Twinporter, although this bike has had a few upgrades and trick parts fitted on it by 3L Race Developments, who are basically a one-stop shop if you were to need any repairs, tuning or other motorcycle services done on your off-road bike engines. Now, the chassis on this bike is not the standard frame geometry for a 1963 bike, but this was tweaked by the very skilled hands of Archie Baird, who's another good man to know if you're needing any engineering work done on your old CZ race bike. Now, this Twinport CZ motor was originally a standard 360 engine, but again it has undergone engineering work by Norrie Patty at 3L Race Developments again, and this engine has now been bored out to 420cc, and surprisingly as well, this particular motor's not undergone the usual fin removal on the barrel, which seems to be the latest trend when improving these old CZ motors. Although, having said that, the engine has had this new upgraded gear shifter mechanism installed, which is a very good upgrade for these older CZs, because it eliminates the long throw that you normally associate with these gearboxes, and when you swap the old shifter for this brand new system, then it makes gear changing so nice and slick on these motors, and it's certainly as good, if not better, than any Japanese bike. Now, as you'd expect, a modern Mikuni carburetor has been fitted to replace what would have been the old Jikov carb originally, which worked reasonably well back in the day, but they did have a reputation for flooding and sometimes leaking, and this Mikuni is certainly a much nicer upgrade. Now, as you know, the engine on these CZs is a single cylinder, but with twin exhaust ports in the barrel, and originally these two exhaust headers would have led to two separate silencers that ran down either side of the bike, although this upgraded method is to have the two header pipes run into the single expansion chamber on the left hand side of the bike, which of course helps keep the overall weight of the bike down, and is also much cheaper than buying two separate race pipes. Now, I'm just assuming here that these front forks will have had the 3L developments treatment with some kind of upgrades done on their internals, although I was never really furnished with all the details of this bike on the day, so I can't really comment much on these particular items. Now, again, the rear shocks are a more modern replacement, and I think These could be a pair of classic Öhlins rear shocks, although don't quote me on that particular statement, but they'll of course certainly be better than the originals that were fitted at the CZ factory back in the 1960s. Now, our particular CZ's been fitted with a brand new alloy brake backplate, and this lovely CNC machined item is almost certainly another one of those upgrades from the guys at 3L, and this brake lever operating arm also looks like it's been specifically manufactured to fit this particular 420 CZ Twinshocker. Now, the bike's fuel tank again looks like it's the real deal, although once more it's been painted to the customer's own requirements, and I was told that this paintwork was all done by Bike Paints, and Kenny's even had them put his national flag on the top of the tank, which is quite a nice touch. Now, once more, Kenny's bike has a nice set of controls fitted to his bike with a good quality gasser throttle and a nice set of quality grips, and Kenny's also fitted a pair of bar risers just to raise that handlebar height at the front of the bike. Now, I'm guessing here once again that this very comfy looking seat has been totally rebuilt for this brand new bike, and once more another quality item that just seems to add to the overall look of this very nice motorcycle. But I do apologise for not being able to supply any more specific details on the build of this bike, but this was just another one of those smash and grab photo shoots where you just come across the bike sitting in the paddock and then you start taking a few pictures and video clips as quickly as possible. And as per many of my other paddock bikes here on my channel, very seldom are the owners around to answer any questions on the day. Although, having said that, all the details are not as important as just being able to see the bike in the flesh. And this bike of Kenny's is without doubt another very nice CZ machine. Okay, it's not an original bike, but who cares? Because it's so rare these days to see an original 1960s CZ, and any that are around are usually locked up in museums or in private collections. Although since these video clips and pictures were taken, Kenny's already added another nice CZ Twinporter to his collection, and we'll maybe take a closer look at this example in another video later here on Classic Dirt Bike TV. But if you're interested, you can see Kenny's bike perform on the racetrack if you just check out the video from the Scottish Classic Round 1 event at Forfar in 2019, where you can catch a glimpse of Kenny racing this bike in one of the pre-1968 vintage classes. Well, I hope you enjoyed that very brief look around Kenny Harper's CZ Twinport 420 machine. Not an original bike, of course, but nevertheless certainly worthy of taking a look here on my video channel. Okay, coming up in my next video posting, we are going classic racing once again, and we have a couple of videos to post from the racing from the 2013 Nostalgia Scramble at Home Farm near Sedberg in Cumbria. So hope you'll rejoin me to take a look at that. So until then, everybody, continue to be safe and well, and we'll all get together later and speak once more about all these vintage racers when we return to Classic Dirt Bike TV.